Good evening and welcome families, friends, faculty, and our fellow graduates to Ingram's 2020 commencement program. My name is Haley Vandendysel.
And my name is Lizagara Mariam, and as your 2020 class officers, we are honored to stand here virtually before you today and personally congratulate you on your 4 years of hard work and resilience.
Despite everything that is going on in the world, all the negativity and uncertainty, it's important to recognize our accomplishments and remember the years we spent together. From freshman to senior year, we've seen classmates come and go, watch one another grow literally and figuratively, and most importantly, face challenges and overcome obstacles that no other classes have experienced. Even from the beginning of our time at Ingram, we were pulled into social activism and demonstrated that coming together as a group sends a powerful message and can create change. As we continue to grow, we will endure different hardships, and if these past few months have taught us anything, it's that life does not always go as planned. Staying strong and united, not just as a class, but as a community, is how we will get through this and what we may face in the future. Although our time in high school may have been cut short and we may have missed a few big milestones, we still got to experience a lot of memorable times that have helped us truly connect with one another. The time apart has put into perspective and created a greater appreciation for all the moments we've shared together. I never thought that school would be something that I would miss so much, and it definitely is something I took for granted. I didn't realize that the day school was canceled would be our last day ever. Even the little things like trying to get into the crowded gender-neutral bathroom, hanging out in the AC during break, and even getting tea from the nurse are all important fragments within our high school experience that I'll miss more than anything. All the memories, big and small, that we have shared throughout the years, and most importantly the people that I have been so lucky to have crossed paths with, are what I will always treasure and look back on with a smile. The past few months have forced me, and I'm sure many of us, to consider the future and the next step in life as adults. Whether that means going to college, taking a gap year, traveling the world, staying close to home, getting a job, or even if you're unsure, continue to pursue empathy and a genuine kindness for others. Remember that even if things seem confusing and the unknown becomes overwhelming, it's okay to just be okay. The final chapter may have been unfulfilling in many senses, but has highlighted the fact that the future has endless possibilities and that there's so much to look forward to, even if it doesn't seem that way right now. We should all be so proud of how far we've come.
Now that we are graduating and approaching a new chapter, we will be faced with many challenges and changes. These last few months, our generation has had to deal with situations and realities that many of us would have never expected. From the onset of a pandemic to witnessing outcry internationally over the innocent Black lives lost to police brutality, many people right now are scared and unsure of what to expect next. While witnessing these events, there have been a few lessons that I've taken away and would like to share with you all. First, life will always test you. Whether it's a bad grade on an exam or the pain of issues at home, we never know what life will throw at us. Sometimes when we are faced with a tough situation, it seems like the end of the world. But it's imperative that we all remember to never give up. Take the lesson from the situation and use it to make yourself stronger. I'm not telling you to set aside your pain, but to conquer with a strong heart and mind. Secondly, always keep learning. This is a funny one because I feel like some of us are definitely tired of school at this point, but I promise you, learning is beneficial. I know personally I struggled with staying committed to my studies once we were sent home on March 13th. I felt overwhelmed and unable to engage with everything going on in the world. And I also had a really bad case of senioritis. But we must remember that having a rich mind is the strongest weapon that any person in this world can have. Whether you do this from reading books to engaging in conversations with those different from you, there are endless amounts of ways to keep learning. Remember to keep an open mind and take every opportunity possible to continue learning. Lastly, always try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. As if I hadn't included enough cliches in the speech already, this one is still relevant and still hard for many people to put into practice. It's easy to go through life only worrying about ourselves and not being able to understand the situations and the circumstances of others. It's important to be aware of the privileges that we may have and the perspectives that we may not easily understand. Think about a time when you were struggling and be the person that you needed for someone else at that point. Thank you so much for listening to the lessons that I've learned, and I hope you take them in consideration as we take on our adult lives. No matter what you do or who you become, remember to always be proud of your accomplishments. Despite what your plans are for after high school, I know that you all will do amazing things. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it.
It is now my privilege to introduce our principal, Mr. Flo.
Welcome, Ingraham community. As a principal of Ingraham High School, it's my distinct pleasure and honor to be involved with your class of 2020 graduation. This graduation is certainly new for all of us, but it also has many traditions involved that you'll be involved in. One of our traditions that we have is the John C. Maxey Award. This award is given to the faculty member who most contributed to the class of 2020's success during their 4 years at Ingraham High School. John C. Maxey was a longtime administrator of Ingraham High School in the 60s. This year's award is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Angela Peck, this year's John C. Maxey Award winner, who just found out about 15 seconds ago. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Being part of the Ingraham community is really something special. And I'm so honored to be the recipient of this award. Thank you.
Again, congratulations, Ms. Peck. Students and staff, we will meet again. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Juneau.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. I'm Denise Juneau, Seattle Public Schools Superintendent. When I was a young girl growing up on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in Montana, I would never have dreamed my path would lead to Seattle Public Schools. My story takes me from Head Start to Harvard. I've had the opportunity to lead public education for the state of Montana, and I was the first American Indian woman elected to a statewide executive office anywhere in the country. I'm also a proud product of public education. It was my community and my education in public schools that set me up to take advantage of opportunities that have come my way. And I've learned a lot along my journey. As you take this next big step, here are some tips for the road. Breaking news: adults don't have it all figured out. We just act like we do. So embrace uncertainty and know that learning never ends. It's okay to fail. In fact, it's better than okay. It is necessary to create new and innovative solutions. And that's something we really need right now as a nation and global community. And if you have a good idea, act on it. Don't wait. Trust yourself. The world needs your brilliance. You are such a special class of young people because you have already proven that you can roll with the punches, that you can thrive even in the middle of a global pandemic. You have demonstrated that you have the will and skill to get through whatever life throws at you. You are ready, and you are already leading by showing up and advocating for change, supporting each other, and doing it with courage and bravery. You have earned this celebration of all of your hard work. I urge you now to take your education and walk through the doors of opportunity as they open to you. Believe in yourself and believe that no dream is out of reach. Make your voice heard and take leadership roles wherever you find yourself. The world needs your voice, your skills, your knowledge, and your inspiring stories of success. Graduates, as you receive your diploma, know that all of your fans, your family, friends, and community are also very proud of what you've accomplished. When you succeed, each and every one of us benefits. I congratulate you, class of 2020. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Hello to the class of 2020, families, teachers and staff, and anybody else tuning in. If you don't know me, I'm Maya Alfred. First, I'd like to thank my family and friends for their unwavering support throughout my time at Ingraham. Specifically, I'd like to thank my mom for always telling me to line up my equations, and my dad for sitting through many, many fencing tournaments with me. I'd also like to thank my teachers for their passion, dedication, and patience. When I was little, I was terrified of spiders and snakes, specifically the ones that lived in Central Australia, perhaps a product of too much pre-trip research. I was also afraid of a meteorite-based extinction event and the Mythbusters episode where they make the water heater explode. But to middle school me, there was nothing more terrifying than starting high school. Walking in those doors freshman year, I'll be honest, is a little bit hazy, but it was filled with new fears. We got lost on our way to classes and worked out that pep assemblies were optional. I, at least, only took a month to work out how to open my locker. Sophomore and junior year, though, were where we truly hit our stride. We were stressed over presentations, and orals and transcripts, and we've made it through SBACs and SATs and final exams. For everybody who went through IB with me, I'm sure you remember early morning TOK and last-minute IAs. And this year, we've made it through online learning. I commend you all on your dedication, perseverance, and perfect second semester grades. Like for most of us, this year didn't turn out how I expected. It's had far more things to worry about, to be succinct. However, that in no way devalues the lessons we've been taught. I'd like to thank Ingraham for being a place of growth for me, though that was exclusively emotional, which was somewhat disappointing. We've come a long way on this 4-year journey. I'd like to thank 3 teachers who were particularly impactful to me on my way. I'd like to thank Mr. Spielpenning for creating a math class that always encouraged curiosity while maintaining academic rigor. I'd like to thank Mr. Tanemoto for ensuring that Ingraham continues to have a computer science department. And I'd like to thank Mr. Gilbert for his love of 20th century history, his caring, and his PowerPoints with tiny font. In all seriousness, we've met good people and made good friends. We've learned and we've changed a lot about ourselves. Personally, I've learned that there's very little to do about meteorites, so it's best not to worry about them. Now, I've moved on to more relevant low-level anxieties like pandemics and integration. And while there are a lot of things to be afraid of, I've been genuinely in awe of the passion of the students of the class of 2020, whether it's for social justice, photography, cells, or panel codes. I hope in these times of uncertainty, frustration, and injustice that you will keep speaking up, keep donating, and keep passionately caring. To be silent now is to be complicit. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2020.
There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better, some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. Of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you, and these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more, though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
It is now my privilege to introduce our keynote speakers, Adam Burden and Angela Peck.
Our experience in life are often characterized through firsts and lasts. First day of high school, first 1-minute monologue, first poetry slam, first James Baldwin essay, first time walking to Albertsons for lunch, first school assembly with stripping, first time hearing Mr. Simmons rap, first time eating lunch in Miss Hedine's room, last argument with Mr. Spann, last time playing hoop in the Ingraham gym without permission, last meal in Carter's room, last cheer practice, last school assembly with a strip show, last smile from Elvig, last jammy Sammy, last debate about guns that shoot knives, last vulnerable assignment in Adam's class, last time searching for Guy Thomas, last lesson from Laura Turner. From new beginnings and final endings, you have spent what seems like a lifetime striving to get here, your high school graduation. Our lives are largely defined by our benchmarks, and what you cannot understand because you have not collected enough time is that for those who hold your history, from parent to proxy, it does not seem like a lifetime. For every first and last, there has been fear and pride and confusion and countless moments up at night worrying. The utter painful beauty of watching you grow up, clawing desperately at time to slow it down. For those of us watching, helping and holding, it has passed in what seems like the time it took for you to blow out the candles. From here, as you step into the unknown, whether you attend college, get a job, volunteer, or play video games on someone's couch, time will continue to speed up. Another graduation, a career, a marriage, a birth, another birth, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, firsts and lasts, days will blend together, slipping away from you. As time pushes its way through your life, think about the life you want to live. Think about what gives life meaning. As you move beyond high school, know the true lessons in life, the true moments of joy do not exist in an A or an I. They are not found in a book or a math problem or in a classroom curriculum. They do not exist in a job title, a new car, a salary, or an accomplishment. The true moments, the things we will all come back to in our last days, they are found between people. The connections we cultivate with each other, the hand-holding, the sharing of grief, the offering of love in the face of loss. Contemplate your humanity, the humanity of others, rooted in both joy and suffering. Learn to hold responsibility, to accept suffering, to share joy. As you sift through your COVID memes, eat your shrimp and grits, passive or actively protesting murderous policing of Black lives, George Floyd, yet another unarmed Black man robbed of so many firsts and lasts, I leave you with one last piece of advice. Embrace being vulnerable. The most valuable work you will ever do, all of it, requires that you learn to hold both your vulnerability and the vulnerability of others. It is vulnerable to reach out and share joy. It is vulnerable to share pain. It is vulnerable to bear witness. It is vulnerable to make mistakes, to question how it has always been. It is vulnerable to try, and it is vulnerable embracing the humanities of others. It is vulnerable to strive to love. It is vulnerable to acknowledge white privilege. It is vulnerable to contemplate what it means to live a life without justice. It is vulnerable to contemplate what it means to lose a life without justice. Again and again and again, why are they protesting? Why are they angry? Why are they rioting? Why don't Black lives matter to everyone? If things are going to change, personal or political, it will be through a willingness to love, removing the masks we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within, as James Baldwin has asked us to do. In this time of so little accountability, a time filled with false tweets, a time when Black lives still don't matter to blue, a time marred with politics making a mockery of science, in all efforts, advocacy, and actions, you must learn to move forward with an open heart and an open hand. It is only through being vulnerable that one can offer an abundance of compassion. It is our superpower to feel so deeply, and it is the only gift of value we have to offer each other. Thank you, students, for trusting me. Thank you, parents, for trusting me.
Hello, class of 2020. First, I want to say thank you to your families and those that have supported you all along the way. It has been my privilege to teach these amazing young people. Some I've taught for 1 year, others for 2. Some I've known since you were kindergartners or before. To witness each of you grow has been a true honor. Secondly, I want to say congratulations. You have achieved something incredibly rare. The entire class has earned the highest GPA for a final semester of any class at Ingraham High School. Wow. You didn't let that senioritis get to you, did you? In fact, you're probably the only class I've ever known that has had reverse senioritis. A couple months ago, I remember speaking with some of you about what strange form commencement may take. Well, here it is. Many commencement speakers try to incorporate a theme into their speech. It's true, you can Google it. So when Huff asked me to speak, I tried to think of possible themes. A common theme seems to be finding opportunity when things don't meet your expectations. If this had been 3 months ago, I may have picked that one, but you've already lived that. Another theme I considered was the power of the pivot. This was actually inspired by my brief basketball career and, well, all of you. I cannot emphasize enough how impressed I am with all of you. Facing the unknown, you have all pivoted from what was expected and turned toward what was needed. In no time, you were completing classes online. Many of you were working more than usual. Others have spent time volunteering or generally pitching in and showing up wherever you're needed. You have done this all with more grace than many people who are considered adults. Still, that didn't seem quite right. In fact, I tried for a while to come up with the perfect theme for this speech, and each time I started, nothing seemed right. So I pivoted. You see, you are unlike any class I've ever known. You are full of compassion and empathy, aware of the world's challenges like none other. I am so excited to see where those qualities take you in the future. Yet, as you go forward, I have one last request. Use all of those extraordinary qualities to listen for voices you may not be hearing. Whether those voices belong to your friends, future classmates, or coworkers, remind yourself to listen. If you aren't hearing someone's voice, take a moment to check in with each other. While the reason for their silence may be nothing more than they've been busy, the fact that you've noticed can open doors to conversations, deepen connections, and even lead to friendships you may not have had otherwise. Finally, I want to say that even though our year was cut short, you are an unforgettable group. Congratulations again to the extraordinarily unique class of 2020, and thank you for your time.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh yes, it will. It's been too hard living. I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long telling me don't hang around. It's been a long, long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh yes, it will. Then I go to my brother. I say, brother, help me please, please. But he winds up knocking me. Oh, right back down on my knees. Oh, there were times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long, long, long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh yes, it will. I said it's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Yes, it will.
Seattle School Board Directors, Superintendent Juneau, the students before you have met all local and state requirements to be graduates of the class of 2020. I present to you the Ingraham class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Remember that this is your day, and you all deserve to take some time for yourselves. Be proud of all you have done and how much you've accomplished.
Before you move forward from this phase in your life, we would like to make the celebration official. The moving of the tassel symbolizes the crossing over from high school to the next stage in our lives.
Graduates, please stand and face your families, and at this time, on the count of 3, please move the tassel from the right side to the left side of your cap.
3, 2, 1,
turn.
turn.
Congratulations, graduates, it's official.
2020!